A very good morning to you. This is, I have to check the date, is 16th of April because like we, I think cabin fever is sort of setting in. Don't know what day is of the day, but it's Thursday, 26th of April. So I'm making sure I'm checking my date every single day. Today we've been working with mesh. I got loads of samples here, like a sea worth of samples. We had so much fun with this mesh jewellery before, creating loads of different looks. There is so much you can do with it, but I will go through that in a minute with you. Just waiting for a few more people to join, and then we can get started. There's different styles. This is what I love about mesh jewellery the most, that whatever you have got, if you got the mesh, which we created a bundle for you today, whatever you got in your stash, you can use up with you. This one is using sequins, some of them using larger beads, smaller beads, seed bead mixes. You can use a lot up with it, what you have at home already. So, actually, I better put this coffee down. I don't want it to, I'm quite klutzy, so I don't want it all over my table. So, mesh jewellery. I love mesh. We had it for quite a few years now. I think we were one of the first ones in the UK to have the mesh. It comes in many different colours, and it comes in 3 different sizes. So you got your 0.4, you got your 0.8, and you got, I think right at the bottom I got some of the thicker ones, your 60mm ones. No, sorry, not 0.4. It's 4mm, 8mm, and 60mm. I was just working with wire before I came up. So this is the 60mm, and this is our 8mm. So you can see it's a little bit thinner. And then we got our 4mm as well. That's it. So that's quite a thin one. So I'm going to show you the finished samples first, so I can, as I go, clear this table up and show you some in making as well. From the simplest things you can do is you're going to fill up your mesh with, I'm going to start with the 4mm. You're going to fill up your mesh with beads. Let me just say hello to some of you who are watching. Oh, there's quite a few, you know. So good morning, good morning, Lucy. Good morning, Dee. Not saying morning, Kitty from Nat in Colchester. Hope you and your family are very both at home and totally busy. We are really well. Thank you very much. Paul is saying good morning. Angela, good morning. Another Paula, good morning. Christine saying good morning, Kitty and everyone watching. And Bernie, good morning. Alison, good morning. Hope you're okay. Looking forward to watching live, not catching up later. Oh, bless you. You must be home today and it's your day off. Alison is one of the NHS workers who are one of our heroes. They're going backwards and forwards and looking after everybody. Anna is saying good morning. Leslie's hi, Kitty. Hi, Leslie. So, starting with the 4mm, there is many different things you can do. Obviously, as the 4mm is the smallest one inside, so I'm just going to show you. I've got 3 here, which I filled with larger beads. When I fill it with larger beads, I put a tiger tail through the middle of the beads, so just keep them straight because you don't want the beads turn and the holes showing through. This one is just sort of a rubber tubing going inside it, which like you can have. And then this one, this is quite a long one. This is still 4mm. I made this to be like a wrapped around jewellery, and this is only seed beads. There's only seed beads in there. So as I went along, I changed the colors of the seed beads. I did like sort of 1 scoop or a couple of scoops, depending on your size, going all the way down and coming back up. You could vary as a long necklace as well, but I made this as a wraparound bracelet. Obviously, you got your lovely crystals, and oh, I love this one. So this one is got seed beads inside it. It's just only sort of a silver seed bead, but I plaited it. So just starting at the top, I binded all 3 of them together and plaited it going all the way around. We're gonna need that later. This one again, 4mm, again plaited with 1 pearl and 2 different crystals. You would bind it together, you would fill your tubing up, bind it together at the top, then plait it and bind it on the other side. And once both ends are secure, you will glue the end in. So just sort of a few good tips as we going through here. Other 4mm ones, I had another one. This one is a different plaiting with four strands. Again, this one has got little crystals in there. Now, the offers we have on the website today, because you've been loving the offers. The free PDF is on the mesh, and it's sort of loads of different things what you can do with it. I think it's 4 or 5 page. So do check it out and download it. On the same page, we created a bundle of mesh. Now, this one is 20 times 2 meter length of mesh, which is enough for, like, you know, loads and loads of bracelets. If you think about that, there's 40 meters in total. And even if you're just making simple bracelets, you can make 5 bracelets out of a meter. So that's quite a lot there for you to play with. And this one usually $19.99. We took it down to $12.99 for you today. So over 100 bracelets you can make from it. It's really, really great for you. And let me just pop this to the side. Another offer we got this lovely acrylic crystals. Now these ones are really, really sparkly, and that's what's sort of in this jewellery as well. It's really, really sparkly when the light hits it. Now this comes in 2 different sizes, 2mm and 4mm. Each of them come in about 10 or 12 different colors. There's many on the website, do check it out. But what we did with this one is put them on 3 for 2 for today, so you can experiment with them as well. There is a whole section on the website called Wonder Tube. So there is loads of different, the clasps are on there, because you can use many different clasps with there. Like you can use the gluing ends. These ones are gluing ends as well, like little magnetic ones. Or you can use crimp pens as well. They make your jewelry much cheaper and go much further if you do it for charity or for, you know, to give it away or anything like that. So do check out the website. I posted the links above already before I started the video, so you just need to click on there to download the free PDF. You do need to go on to the website, put in your basket and check out, and it will be emailed to you. So let me just go back on the lovely comments you have. Good morning, Dean. Good morning, Sunny. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Carol, Leslie, Anna, Christine, and let's go back. Paul, good morning, Paula, because I didn't click on my iPad quite earlier, so I think I missed some of the comments on there. Sunny's saying she wants to try to make some. She's saying they are beautiful. I'm just asking, how do you finish these? I always end up with glue everywhere. I will show you that just in a second. Margaret saying, hi Kitty, loving this interaction. Got me going with jewellery again, thanks. You're very welcome. I hope you like, this is what really want to do to inspire you to get it or start or get back into jewellery making, and to give you something to do every single day. But this is really sort of a fun pack, because I love working with mesh so much. Judy saying good morning, Lynn, and Dorothy saying good morning, lovely Kitty, good morning to you as well. Dorothy saying morning Kitty, this is from North Wales, love your personal videos, are very natural. Oh, thank you. Yes, I suppose we wanted to create something which is a little bit more sort of relaxed, as you are relaxed at home as well. And good morning, Sheila, Judith, good morning, Lynn, and good morning, Dorothy again. So if you haven't read any of your ads, I'm sorry if I missed you, but good morning to everybody. So going on to 8mm mesh, I got loads of samples to show you again. So you could get a little bit more creative, and I didn't fill the ones going at the top, I just filled the top bottom. So you got a lovely little sort of mixture of beads, the seed beads, crystals, and larger beads as well, going right at the bottom. So that's something what you could aim to. There are with the 8mm, obviously you could do like just little seed bead ones, fill it with seed beads, and this one's using crimp pens. Crimp pens are really cheap, and I'll show you how to use them. They This is the one with crystals. They really go for a long while. You could vary you could make like little, I call it sausage jewellery because it looks like little sausages on there, but it looks really nice. This one, you fill it inside, then you add a larger whole bead to the other side, outside, and fill it inside. Again, a larger whole bead on the outside. So it's quite easy as well. Again, you can use your larger beads. Again, I would put the tiger tail through to that. You can do a mixture of things, so using larger beads and smaller seed beads as well. I love this look as well. Where's this one? This one is my absolute favorite. This one is using 2 different size of mesh, because this one where the pearls are 16 mil, and the one at the top and the bottom are 8 mil. This one, I don't think I will be able to pull it up, but this 60mm with the pearls is sort of one length. So I started here, added a number of pearls, then I knotted it at the end and tied the smaller ones to it, went to the other side, filled them up, added a knot again, and finished it on the other side. This is another one as well. It's only the pearls are only at the top, and I got mixed seed beads and seed beads at the bottom. So that's that. Oh, I love this one. So you can get really creative with all the different shapes what you're creating. This one is crystals and seed beads, and I just really love, I mean, you know, this is something where you could wear on the evening out. It would really sparkling. And again, playing with larger and smaller beads on the outside and the inside as well. This is using all 3 different sides of the mesh, so there's a lot what you can create and play with it. Again, this one is just a little sparkly one with a little twist. Again, inside, outside. Now, I love this one. This one is one of my favorites. This one has got sequins inside of them. Now, I had so much sequins at home. I had another one, another 2. Here we go. I had so much sequins at home, and sequins, I think a few years ago, we were all buying sequins, and in our cupboards, at home, sort of collecting dust, because not really sure what to do with them, apart from sort of sewing them to clothes, onto clothes, or you know, decorate certain things with it. And when we had the mesh, I had a little idea, and I love this one. This one I made it just sort of picking up the colors randomly. Obviously they sit, I put them on a tiger tail, so it's keeping them straight so they can't move. But you can use your sequins as well and create loads of lovely different patterns and loads of different you know, ideas as well. I love that you can use so much different things as well. You can make little earrings as well. This one is just the crystal resin beads. They got no holes, they inside them. I just tied a knot at the top and put it inside this lovely bead cone as well to cover the ends, and that's it. You got a really nice and lovely earring there. So let me show you how to do the ends. Let me just go back to the comments for quickly. Morning Tina, morning Lucy. If you got any question, please do let me know, and we'll try to answer it the best I can. Now, the most people usually use is seed bead mixes. If you got seed beads at home and you haven't, you know, don't know what to do with it, or it's a little bit of leftovers, it's a really great way. Just mix them all up, and then you can use them in a sort of a color collective in your jewellery as well. And don't forget, the color of the seed beads will change the sort of a look of the mesh, and the color of the mesh will change the color of the seed beads as well, slightly as well. So it's a really great way to experiment. I got some other ones as well. This is a little bit more complicated to doing a knotting on the front part, and we got sort of a bracelet length on the back part. I could do a separate video on this later on if you wish. Just do text me, and we do the knotted style mesh as well. This one we created again in so many different colors. There is some kits available on the website for this in the section as well. They are really great. And what I love about this, that we created the front part separately from the back part. So the back part actually comes off, and that's a bracelet size. So you could wear it just as a bracelet. just as a bracelet, or putting it together you can wear it as a necklace. So it's really multi-usable jewelry as well. Just pop it back on there, because if I put it back in the box separately, you know what's going to happen, it's going to go missing. So that's it, just popping it back on there. Both of the sides just got different ones. I got another color here. I love this gold one. They're really, really great. There's about 100 grams of seed beads in there in those tubing. So let's have a look at the mesh. So I'm gonna use this lovely navy blue one. And where did I put my crimpins? My crimpins gonna miss. Like, so much you get ready for this videos, and then in the last minute there's always something what you can't find. I got another bag here with all lovely bits and pieces to be used. So crimpins, where are you? There's silver, black, oh, gold. There we are. Oh, there you go, there's the silver one, but actually it's quite a lot dark one, so I'm going to use the black crimpins. So with the mesh, the only thing I suppose is a little bit downside to it, that you can't measure it while it's empty. You have to fill it up with seed beads or any beads or anything, because without with any beads inside it, it's really, really stretchy. So if I measured it around my wrist now and then filled it up with these, you wind up it a little bit smaller, probably about 10% smaller, and then it won't fit you. So I always do the sort of, if I want to make a bracelet, cut it a little bit longer. You can cut it with scissors or your cutters quite safely, just like that. These are just flash cutters I'm using, but scissors or anything will do as well. So we're going to put the crimp, the cord crimp on one side. This is probably the easiest and quickest way to make the mesh. I'm going to hold the end and pinch it. Excuse my fingers, they're really, really dry, my hands now. Pinch the end so it comes to like a little bit of a tip. Then going to insert this inside my cord crimp, just like so. I'll just bring it closer. Which way I can show you? I just inserted that in there. I'm gonna hold it down by the cord crimp. It's got a little loop on there by that end. And then, actually, I'm gonna come closer to you. All you need to do is to really squeeze down each one of these flips. Just sort of flat down on one side. Then we're gonna come to the other side and we're gonna squeeze this down as well with a pair of pliers. I'm probably doing it in a little bit of a blind here because I really wanted to show you how to do it. So when you're doing it straight, and you can do it a little bit nicer, but that's how easy it is to put your end on there. And then you're gonna take your crystals or seed beads or anything you want to fill it from the other side. Now to fill it up, if you got a little flat funnel in the kitchen, that makes life easier to fill it in there. If you got a tube like this, with this a tube of beads, or any, you can put your beads in any of these sort of plastic storage tubes. This is squidgy a little bit, so I can, let's just get this end off. That's it. I just sort of trying to open it really nicely, because you know what happens sometimes when you open a tube, the beads will ping everywhere. That's it, we got it open. So if you got a tube at home, you can always use the tube as sort of to help you guide you in there. So I would squeeze the tube to turn it into more of a an oval shape, and very easily you can sort of, with a little movement, they will just all sort of go in there. I lost a few on the table, but that is just because the tube was really full. So you can see I filled up more than a bracelet length, and I hardly used anything from the seed beads. So as a rule of thumb, I suppose for the 8mm one bracelet, it only takes about 8 to 10 grams of seed beads depending on size. So you can imagine you can make a lot with them. So when you fill it up, I like to go back on my tubing and sort of just give it a little bit of squeeze. And as you can see, when I'm squeezing it together, they're all moving down a little bit further, and it becomes a little bit fuller and a little bit fatter to what's on the top. This is just sort of even it out a little bit, but they all move down. And then when you finished and you're happy with your result, I'm going to take another cord crimp. I'm going to insert my mesh right in there, just like that. And I'm going to fold these ends down as well. This time I'm going to be, I'll do it looking at it from my side. So using just a chain nose or a flat nose plier, there is nothing really fancy needed for this. One side down and other side down. Then I'm going to trim the excess mesh there. Now I like to use flesh cutters for this because I can get really close with the flesh cutters on the finding itself. They have a nice finish, and all is left to do is you take your lobster clasp and you take a couple of jump rings and you attach your jump rings on either side, and on one side you attach lobster clasp as well at the same time. So this is really easy, very quick make. You can get children involved if you like. My lot has been like, they did it quite a few years ago. Even Lucy, when she was smaller, 7, 8, she did some of this. So opening and closing a jump ring, holding as much of the jump ring I can to support it. I'm going to twist it apart and just pop the end loop on there and twist it back shut. And on the other side, I'm going to add the end again, and I'm going to add the lobster clasp as well at the same time. And that's it. That's really how easy it was to make a bracelet. So go and download the free PDF, share the video with your friends so they can get the free PDF as well and download it themselves, as well as check out the Wonder Tube section on the website. So you can, there is sort of there's many different things you can do with it. Check out the bundles as well because they're on offer today, as well as the crystals. They do really worth to spend a little extra because they are really nice and sparkly. But even if you just have some bits of pieces at home you want to use, even sequins or anything goes in there. Once I had a very funny question about this. We were doing some little workshops on this on one of the shows, and this gentleman came back and came up to me. He's like, "Oh, this looks really nice. Can you put anything in it?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely, anything would go in there." And it's just like it's staying there. So and then I started chatting to him, and it happened that he went to Bali, I think it was, and brought back some sand in a little glass, and he said, "Oh, what a nice way would be to put the sand in there and then make a bracelet out of it. What a lovely memory it would be." And I'm saying, "Well, I'm really sorry, but the sand is not really going to work because the sand has got larger, needs something a bit more finer to keep it all inside it, because the smaller grains would, I don't know how much you can see the mesh on there, would fall through the mesh itself." But it was quite funny. So we had a really good laugh. Dorothy is saying, brilliant idea with the sequins. I have a stash. Yes, it's a very good one to use them up. I love them because you can make all sorts of different patterns with it. Are these normal beads, Kitty, or specially made for mesh? I thought it would cost a lot to fill a mesh. No. So the mesh, they are a couple of, these ones, the crystals are made for the mesh because they look like little tiny diamonds, but they haven't got any holes on them. So that's why they are really, really, really sparkly. I mean, a bag like this, which I think is 35 grams. On the top of my head, I don't know. But this is $4.99 on the website. This is 3 for 2 at the moment. So for £10, you would have 3 bags. Now, those 3 bags are enough for about 15 bracelets. 12 to 15 bracelets, depending on what size you're going to be making, obviously. But it goes a long way because it doesn't take too much. With seed beads, I know it's about 8 to 10 grams to fill one little bracelet up. So it goes a long way. And anything you have at home, you can use up, especially with the larger beads as well. It's really, you know, if you got some beads which has got a few scratches on there, or you not quite like them or want to use them in any pattern, you can always sort of put them in a mesh and they're going to look really, really great. The only thing I say with the larger beads is to have them on a strand. So I got a strand of larger beads here, and I would restring this and put it on a piece of tiger tail or something and knot it at the end, because what you don't want to end up with, once you insert it into your mesh, you don't want these beads to turn and the holes to be shown. Now this is a really good example, this clear beads, because as you can see, the hole on the beads is going through there. Now when some of them turn, it can be quite sort of uneven, but if you keep them on a string, look at that, you're just going to create a nice lovely string in there, sort of going to just make it, those little tips, I guess, just making you a little bit more professional. So download the PDF. In the PDF, I think I put the instructions in there. I did this a few years ago, but I put the instructions in there how to make your own funnel as well out of paper, which I think we all did when we were children at school. So do check that out. But anything, even if you got some larger, not larger, like these are probably 3 to 5 millimeter beads, mixes at home will go in there really and truly, and anything could go in there, and you can create really lovely jewelry. You could plait it, you could do a lot of different things with it. Even take it to, I love this one, take it to sort of a little bit further. I only feel the ones in the middle, so this is probably about 6 bracelet worth of beads in there, and the rest of them I left it empty, so it's quite nice and light necklace. But you can do inside outside, as I showed you earlier. I love this technique as well. You could use rainbow colors if you got different seed beads. You could do a lot of different things with it. And where's my I love this one. This is one of my favorite one as well. This is using 2 different sizes of mesh as well. So if you want to do a glue in end, which I was just sort of picking up this bracelet too, it doesn't matter if you're using I think I had another one there. It doesn't matter if you're using one strand or if you want to do a triple strand or anything you want to do. All you need to do is to take a piece of thread. Now I like to match the thread approximately to the color of the mesh, but it doesn't really matter because we'll be inside of the clasp, so you're not going to see it. So you're going to start off making, if you want a triple one, you're going to make 3 separate lines. I usually leave the end one open on one side, and just put like a temporary little knot on there, so just to hold it together. And then I would bind, I think you can see the little cream bead right at the top there where I started it with my stringing. I would bind all 3 of them together. I would plait it all the way down, and then take another piece of thread and just sort of again just keep adding it and twirling it around your mesh at at the end of your bracelet. Now, before you cut it, and usually when I'm sort of just winding the thread on there, I do add a couple of little drops of glue just to keep them in nice and shape. Super glue, I like to use Gorilla super glue gel, which I don't know where you can get them at the moment. We do sell E6000, which is a jewelry glue, and it's great to work with. It's got it's like a silicone based glue. It's got a little bit of a give and take in it, but it dries. You need to leave it to dry overnight, but once it's dry, it's really, really strong. In our old house, it was holding down our shower tray for years because it came up, and then we didn't have any silicone, and I think it was one of the bank holidays. Nothing was open, and I had a big tube of E6000, and we even glued the shower tray down with it, and I kept saying it for years that it's so strong, it's so versatile as well, that it's holding my shower tray down as well. So let me just go back to your lovely comments as well, because I don't really want to miss anything. Good morning, Annette. What size seed bead did you use, please? Nat is asking. Now, size of seed beads, it doesn't matter. So you could use a mixture of 11s, or let me just, this one, for example, I think it's got all sorts of sizes in there. So you could use a super mix as well. I think this purple one has got smaller ones and larger ones in there. So anything 15s, 11s, 60s, 80s, anything you have at home, just mix it all up. Even different colors you can mix up. It will give you a lovely, lovely effect. This is a mega mix as well. I think these are all size 11, but they're all sorts of different colors as well. So you can just, whatever, when you have I have a little pot on the side at home, so whenever I just have like a few beads left, it's not really worth it to put it back in a bag and store it, so I just add it to the mix. So I got mixes, I'm creating mixes as I go along, I guess. Anna is asking when would put the tiger tail in. So I would make I would put the beads on the tiger tail first, and then I would crimp one end, and you need to leave just a couple of milliliter gap on the other end, sort of you have a good movement in there as well. So I would do that first, and then I would add it into the mesh. If you're doing it like this and using the crimp ends, then I would make sure I would leave a little bit more gap, in fact, not just a couple of millimeters. So I would make sure I can hide the crimp bead right inside my crimp cord as well, so it's completely hidden and looks really great. Jenny's saying, good morning, Kitty. I can only watch only as I have broken both feet. Oh, Jen, I'm so sorry. I've seen your post on Facebook. I really wish you a very speedy recovery, and I hope, I know you've fallen down, and I've fallen down on the stairs at home about 3 weeks ago, and it took me a week to get over it, and then thanks God, touch wood, I didn't break anything, but I had a backache. So I know how you feel. So we wish you a speedy recovery. You can use this time just to sort of watch the Facebook Lives. Even if you go on Pinterest or you go on YouTube and you look up all lovely pictures and make a list of what you're going to be making once you are all better. But we do wish you the best, and hopefully you get well soon. I'm not really sure how long does it take for bones to heal. I've never had anything broken, thanks God, but usually it's about 6 weeks, isn't it? Dorothy's saying, oh no, that's awful, hope you get lots of help. Yeah, we hope you have somebody to look after you though, and make you lovely meals and cup of teas and everything, what you need. Marion saying, hi Kitty, did the spiral you did yesterday, love it. Can you do me a double spiral or a triple spiral, please? I'm in Ireland. Yes, I will do. I put that on the list. I wanted to do that as a separate, because doing it in one video, sometimes it can make it really long as well. So I put double spiral on the list as well. Dorothy's Clark saying Amazon, I think. Angela saying, that makes sense. I was trying to put the mesh in the clasp. Lourdes saying, hi Kitty, does E6000 go off? I have some a while, will it be okay? So if the cap was on it quite tightly and air didn't get to it, then it should be fine. You can always test it on a little bit of piece of paper, just sort of pour some out on there and leave it, see how tactile is it. It should be a nice sort of a paste texture, and see how it behaves. I would do a little tester on a corner of paper or a little plastic bag and just leave it there overnight and then see what happens, because obviously different chemicals goes into all these different glues and different bits of pieces, so it's always good to test it before you use it if you had it for a long time. It's again depends on the conditions you stored them in, or where they be, what they've been exposed. So I think the best thing to do is just do a little tester, and then you see the how good and how strong it will be. But usually I had some which I haven't touched for 2-3 years, and it was fine afterwards. So as long as the cap's on it properly, they should be all right, I guess. So that's it for me, really. Go out and check the website, download the free PDF, check out the big bundle, $12.99. You get 20 different colors and size. Well, it's a mixed colors and sizes with mesh in there. So you get some 4 mils, quite a few of them in there. You get 8 mils as well in all different colors, and 16 mils as well. So it's a really good place to start with. $12.99. You got 40 meters of mesh there. That will take you really ages. They even make you hundreds of bracelets, I guess. There are clasps in the Wonder Mesh section as well on the website. I posted the link above, so you can find the little magnetic ones that are as well, the gluing ones. It's really up to you, but it's a really great way just to sort of sit down and play with it. So that's it. Share the video, share the love, share the beading. It makes stuff lovely, and I love to see your pictures. So once you made bits and pieces of, just we got I'm sure most of you are in there, in Totally Handmade by Totally Beads group on Facebook. It's one of our groups. It's just like-minded people in there, and it's really great to, you know, I love seeing when quite a few of you put the spiral staircase pictures up yesterday, and I really love seeing that what you're making. And I think it's just like-minded people. If you got a question about something, I mean, there was a question in there about thread, what thread to use. I tend to use Superlearn, but some of you use Fireland, other people using Nymo. So it's really great to see. It's sort of a little community helping each other and telling you all the different techniques and all the different bits of pieces, what you learned and what you found throughout your jewelry making journey, I guess. The resin crystals are not coming up with offer, Leslie's saying. Right, so you have to put 3 in the basket, and it will charge you for 2. Yes. So if you put 3 bags in your basket, when you check out, it's only going to charge you for 2. But if you have any problems, do message us, or you can email us as well. Lucy's saying, thank you, Kitty, for spending your time with us. You're very welcome. This is really, I love doing this because it's my interaction outside of the family with you, and it's just really great to sort of talk to other people as well. And you know, if we can't meet up, we just have to do different ways in our lives at the moment. So I think yeah, I really enjoy doing it. So we'll see how long we can do them. We'll try to be waiting to see how long they're going to extend the lockdown, or if they're not going to extend the lockdown, or what's going to be happening. But I've been talking to Sarah, and we're trying to work something out that we will put the bundles on earlier on the website, so you can get them and prepare, and then you can make them on the day with us at home. Just sort of trying to plan ahead a little bit. Leslie's saying, okay, thanks. So that's it for me, really, today. Tomorrow it will be Sarah. She will going to do her crisscross necklace. I think she's going to do one of the flowers on a Saturday or Sunday. I need to add the events on Facebook. But as we're going along, I'm adding them in the events as well, so you can see what's coming up over the next days and weeks. It was really nice. Thank you so much for watching me, and I will see you next week. Stay safe, have a good weekend, everybody, and keep on crafting. Thank you. Bye.